Hello, hello, my gorgeous friends. Happy Monday. Okay, this is like random, but this is what I feel like we should talk about today. Um, because okay, a little backstory. I had a dream a couple weeks ago that there was like a fire near our house, and it was like, holy credoli, we got to get out of here, like stat. And I don't know if you guys have heard of like 72-hour kits. I've heard about it a million times. Always thought that's a good idea. I should probably do that. Never really done it. So I had that terrible dream, and I was like, I should probably do it. Like, because if that really were to happen, like we would be screwed. I would grab the diaper bag. I would probably have about 3 diapers, and I would grab a box in our closet that has like our important documents and my children. And that's about all I'd have for 3 days. So I should probably get on this. So it went on my to-do list. And like, let's be real, it's been on my to-do list for about 5 years. And then on Saturday, I couldn't find my 3-year-old. I mean, not like scary, but just like, where is she? And my son was like, oh, she's upstairs packing for Jesus. And I was like, excuse me, what did you just say? And he was like, she's packing for Jesus. And I was like, I'm gonna pack our 72-hour kits now. It's time. It's time. So, and with everything that happened with COVID, like, oh my ever living gosh. Like, I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are all like, oh yeah, no, we're good. We could live in an underground bunker for like 4 years. Maybe you're like branch status from trolls, right? And you could like, and if we store our own sweat, we could live for 10 years, right? I'm not like that. And COVID was like a rude awakening of like, holy crap, holy, like I should probably prepare myself from hardship a little better, right? And my family, because I mean, we talk all the time about like, oh yeah, like have a great savings account, oh yeah, get debt free, like, oh yeah, like protect, like get life insurance and have a 401k and retire, like save for retirement and stuff. And I feel like those are things we talk about all the time, but like we don't really talk about like emergency preparedness and like food storage stuff. Okay. So random, but hello. I feel like this is something that I heard the word food storage and was like, well, great. Like I gotta live off of ramen and spam. No, thank you. Right. And so I want to share with you what is in our food storage. And I would hear people say, like, I only want to have healthy things in my food storage. And I'm like, okay, well, how? Like, healthy things don't store well and long. And in my head, I was like, you can't store 3 years worth of apples. It just doesn't work, right? Like, you can can them, sure, but like fresh apples, you can't do that, right? So I want to share with you one. I had several people like, what did you put in your 72-hour kit? I think you should talk about this. I think it'd be really helpful. So, one, I'm going to talk about what we put in our 72-hour kit. And two, I'm going to talk about some of the items in our food storage so that you can like get an idea of like healthy food storage ideas so that you don't have a year's worth of spam and top ramen. Okay. Because ain't nobody want to live off of spam and top ramen for a year. Okay. So, first off, the 72-hour kit, it's nothing crazy or special. I literally just put in, we live somewhere hot. So 9 months out of the year, it's hot. And it's somewhere between 80 and 120 degrees, basically 9 months of the year. And then like 3 months of the year, it's like, okay, it's maybe 50-ish, but for the most part, it's warm. So I did 2 short sleeve shirts, 2 shirts. No, I just struggled. 2 short sleeve shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, and then 1 long sleeve shirt, 1 pair of pants, and then 1 jacket. So that really, I mean, that could cover our bases across all things. If we needed to, like we could wear the long sleeve shirts and pull them up. If it's freezing, we can wear our short sleeve shirts with our jackets, or we could wear the jacket and the long sleeve shirt for all 3 days because this is an emergency, right? So we can make it work. And 3 pairs of socks, 1 pair of tennis shoes, And granted, I just said it's hot, but if we're going to have to walk somewhere far, I want to have good walking shoes and not flip-flops or jellies for my 3-year-old, right? Like I want good walking shoes. So I put in like kind of their old tennis shoes that they still fit, but they're not necessarily like the favorites, right? Those went in there too. And this was for all 5 of us. Okay. And then my son is still in pull-ups, and my daughter, by both daughters, one is in diapers at night and one is in diapers all the time. So I put in 3 diapers for my one child for night, and then I put in like 12 diapers, I want to say, for my other one, because I typically change her bum about 4 times a day. So I just did 12 diapers for that, and then 1 pack of wipes. That might be a stretch. We might want more than that in 3 days, depending, but we can make it work if we had to, right? Yeah, that's basically it. And then underwear for everybody. Underwear for everybody. And then I think that's it as far as clothes go. Then I did also put like tampons and pads just in case for myself, right? Chapstick. I did $100 in cash, and I did put in a little bit of food. But it's all like ramen, mac and cheese. I did do 6 packets of Shakeology, just like the packets. For myself and my husband. I need to get some energized sticks and put them in there because I'm gonna need me some energy on days like that. I can almost guarantee it. So I want to put some of that in there. Um, and then I put in some canned fruit and some canned veggies, but I made sure I in our previous one I had an extra can opener, but during COVID I actually gave our extra can opener away. Thank you. But I made sure it was the cans that like pop, because they have that poppable thing, so that we don't have like, oh great, we've got canned food but no can opener, right? So you can either make sure it's the poppable kind or that you pack a can opener too. And yeah, that's basically it. That's all that's really in our 72-hour kit, because I figured that like that would at least get us by. What do we like absolutely need? And then we've got a little bit of cash so that if we needed to, if it was available, we could potentially buy the things that we need. Okay, so there you go. That's our 72-hour kits. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. If anybody who's on live has like, oh, you should add this because that is really smart, like I'm all ears too, and it would be helpful for other people as well. But yeah, that's basically all we put in our 72-hour kit. When it comes to food storage, like I said, I was totally one of those people who like, oh yes, Stephanie, thank you. She also said first aid kit and flashlights. I have not put a first aid kit in mine yet, but I didn't put a flashlight, but I did put in like a 24-hour, like it's like a 72-hour, 48-hour, something, a lot of hours, candle thing. So flashlight and first aid kit. I'm writing that down because I need to add it myself. That is genius. So yes, and then like medicine, if you are someone who needs like medicine regularly or whatever, packing that. And then I've heard it said, like a lot of my friends who are like good at this, that they just every 6 months, like typically in the spring and in the fall, they just update it, because kids grow after 6 months and we grow or shrink after 6 months, right? So like things change. So just updating it every 6 months and just going through and, oh crap, my Shakeology is expired now. I better switch it out, right? Or whatever, stuff like that. So fabulous. Okay, when it comes to food storage, 1, you don't have to live off of Spam and top ramen. Okay. 2, I'm just gonna run through like basically everything that we have. So we bought, thank you, COVID, an extra freezer, because a lot of stuff can last in the freezer for a long time, right? And a lot of healthy things, especially, can be stored in the freezer. I don't really use canned goods very much, so I don't want to be that person with a food storage of 100 million cans, because I don't really like canned food. I don't want to eat canned tuna forever. I don't want to eat canned chicken forever. I don't want to eat canned peaches forever. I will if I have to, but I don't necessarily want to. So I'm gonna go with the freezer option personally. So in our freezer, we literally just have an abundance of everything we use regularly. And we got shredded cheese in there. Did you know that you can freeze cheese? You can, and it doesn't turn all weird. It totally works. I learned that from a lady who I served with in the young women's in our church. But we have 2 huge Costco bags of mozzarella cheese, 2 huge Costco bags of like the Mexican shredded cheese in there. And then we've got so many bags of the steamable veggies, because hello, how many times have I talked to you guys about that? We've got cauliflower rice, green beans, broccoli, cauliflower normal, edamame, corn. Those are technically carbs, or FFCs, depending on which nutrition program you're following. But like, we got a lot of our veggies in there, and a lot of our carbs even too. I've got a lot of tortillas in there, both white and wheat, because I like the wheat ones, and the rest of my family likes the white ones. And so we've got frozen tortillas in there. We've got frozen bread in there. We've got frozen Eggo waffles in there. There's surprisingly less sugar in there than you think. And yep, that's basically, it's full of frozen veggie bags and frozen carbohydrates and frozen cheese. That's basically what's in there. I mean, I could put oh, and let's be real, there's popsicles because it's hot and my kids love popsicles. Okay, so we got like Otter Pops and creamies and all sorts of different assortment of popsicles. That's not food store, so that's just life. Okay. So that's our outside freezer. Okay. And that's a lot. And meat, we've got frozen chicken in there. You can freeze, obviously, like shrimp, beef, ground turkey, steak, all the meats, all the veggies, all the things you can freeze. Okay. Basically the only food group I don't have in there is fruit. I don't have any frozen fruit, but I could. Yes, sweetie.
The iPad's still not working.
You can use my phone now, because I'm not using my phone. Go get my phone.
Where is it?
I had to charge it too. It's in my bathroom. You'll see it. It's on my charger. Will you close the door, please?
Could I watch it
Yes, I just said yes.
in the bathroom?
Wherever you'd like.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Love you. Frozen fruit though, you can totally freeze fruit, and that's actually on my list that I want to do. I have like a bag of frozen cherries. It's almost gone. We need more, but you can totally get like frozen strawberries. You can get bananas. Learn this from Bryn, not the hard way. Don't freeze a banana in the peel. I don't know why I was stupid. Don't do that. You got to peel it first. Peel the banana. I like to break it in half and then freeze it in a bag. Okay. Just like a gallon size Ziploc bag. And you can fill up tons of bags that way, like the freezer gallon Ziploc bags, and they will be in there forever. And thank you, COVID, helped me realize if I bought a whole bunch of fresh like peppers, onions, I wouldn't suggest it with. Okay, you can watch YouTube for a couple minutes and then switch to Wildcrafts, please. Okay, onions. I don't suggest freezing onions, because when you freeze them and then cook them, they were very watery and they totally lost their crunch and they were like soggy. And that is nope, that's not the way I like my onions. But bell peppers were fine. So if I chopped up a whole bunch of bell peppers and froze them, they kept the integrity of their like flavor and awesomeness. So COVID helped me with that too, because I was like, if I run out of bell peppers, I'm gonna just be so sad, because I love to put them in basically everything. So those are some like frozen items that you can totally have on hand. And me personally, I always want to make sure my freezer is stocked, because those are going to be the things that I'm using regularly. And then it's not just going to be this canned tuna that sits on my shelf for 12 years. And I'm like, oh, well, oops, I never used that. Right. Like, because really the point of food storage is to have an abundance of things that you use regularly, and then to be swapping it out because you're using it, and then just replenish it and replace it every time you use it. Right. But you want to actually have an abundance of foods that you use regularly. Yeah. So that's what our freezer looks like. as far as our pantry goes. Obviously, like toilet paper and paper towels, toothpaste, toothbrushes. Oh, that's in our 72-hour kits as well. I didn't say that, but like I put hand sanitizer, toothbrushes, toothpaste. I don't think I put floss in. If you're a dentist, don't get mad at me. Okay. I can put floss in. I can repent. Okay. But yeah, those types of things are in our pantry, like soaps and like basic hygiene stuff, like feminine hygiene products and deodorants and kids shampoos and yeah, hygiene stuff that we need. And then also like peanut butter. Peanut butter is a must around here. Jelly, because it doesn't have to be refrigerated until it's opened, right? And Kewpie. We love Japanese food around here. So Kewpie is Japanese mayo. We have that in abundance because my husband gets really mad when we don't have Kewpie and not mad, sad, I should say, sad when we don't have Japanese mayo in the house. So we have an abundance of that. And then curry. We have an abundance of curry in our pantry because it lasts a really long time, and you can totally, rice is a really great food storage item that's also healthy. And you could get brown rice or white rice. Honestly, I eat white rice. I don't eat brown rice. I eat white rice. Ooh, don't kill me, but there you go. That's my dirty little secret. And with curry all the time, and chicken and veggies, and it's fabulous. Okay. And even if you have it without chicken and veggies, it's still fabulous. And rice lasts for a really long time. So that's like a really rocking food storage secret. Flour, sugar, anything that you might need for like baking. And maybe this is just the crazy in me, but I just remember hearing foods about stories about World War II, and that like chocolate was a commodity, right? Like it was like very, very rare. So you can freeze chocolate chips. Did you know that? So if you're a chocolate chip cookie-aholic like me, I am not having sugar right now, nor do I plan to ever again. But I might have a chocolate chip cookie every once in a blue moon. So we're needing some chocolate chips. It needs to be an option. And my family definitely needs them too because they love them as well. So things like that. And I'm just trying to think and we do have like canned fruits, but again, we only get the canned fruits that my family actually eats. My kids love canned peaches, but anytime I whip out some canned pears or canned pineapple or canned any other type of fruit, they're like, nope, not gonna have it. If I whip out some canned peas or canned green beans, even myself included, like you can see from my face, it's like, right, I would much rather keep it in my freezer and have frozen those things instead of canned, right? So really, we should just probably throw those away because they're never going to get eaten and they're just going to expire. So why are they taking up room in my pantry? I don't know. This is more of a self pep talk for Bryn. There you go, Jesse. Donate them to a shelter as long as they're not already expired, right? I love that. And then yeah, we have an abundance of Shakeology, like a lot. I think it's kind of funny because when I hear people say like, I have so much sitting around my house, and I'm like, me too. Like, why is that a problem? Like, it's a good thing, right? Because that's like the healthiest food storage item there is, right? And there was a time during COVID when all the shipping stuff got delayed that I didn't have some for like a week or two, and I was in like full blown panic mode because I rely on that stuff now because it makes me feel good. So we have an abundance of Shakeology and an abundance of Energize and an abundance of Recover. We have a little bit of extra collagen and a little bit of extra beach bars, and we don't have extra Daily Sunshine. We only have one bag. We should probably get more because I think that'd be a really good thing to add to our 72-hour kits as well. But I'm writing that down. But yeah, that's basically our pantry. We do have a little bit of ramen. We do have a little bit of mac and cheese because it's light and it's easy and my kids love it. It's fine, right? And we do have an abundance right now of nuts. We've got a lot of nuts, and nuts have a pretty long shelf life as well. So almonds, peanuts, pistachios. That's basically the only kind of nuts that we like. So yeah, you can totally have a healthy pantry, a healthy food storage, and it's just about having an abundance of the things that you actually enjoy, right? And I would really challenge all of us, myself included, to not be like super carb heavy. I think that's our like natural go-to is like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna load up on all the rice and all the spaghetti. That's another thing, right? Like spaghetti and spaghetti sauce. Is really good to have on hand, a lot of it. But I'm just gonna load up on spaghetti and rice and ramen and mac and cheese and I'll call it a day, right? Like I want to challenge you and myself and all of us to really like have every food group in your pantry, in your freezer, so that if it really did come down to it and you needed to live off of this supply for a month, 2 months, 14 days, COVID life, right? Or a year, heaven forbid, right? That you actually could. And you wouldn't be like, great, I've had carbs for 14 days straight and I haven't touched a single vegetable, right? Or I haven't had any fruit, or I haven't had any protein, right? Like every food group is important. It really is. And I am very grateful that both of our nutrition programs incorporate all the food groups, because that is one of like, yes, that is one of my biggest testimonies of like nutrition myself, is that God made it for a reason, every single nutrition group. And so there's a purpose in it and we need it for something. And if you want to learn more about that, watch your nutrition videos because you have access to them. Cool. Okay. So that's basically all I had for you today. But I really felt like that's been on my heart a lot lately. And I got several comments on my stories about like, hey, you should like share what you're doing. That I'm like, okay, maybe this is interesting to people. It's kind of boring to me, but I mean, it is important. It is important. And I know that I wish that someone would have pulled me aside a little earlier and told me that my food storage didn't have to be filled with spam and mac and cheese. So cool. Okay. You can totally, totally, totally protect your family from hardship and still have a healthy life. Okay. So, challenge for myself and for all of you out there to take inventory, take stock, see how you're doing. And if you need to do a little better, then here you go. Here's your little challenge to do so. Okay. Yay. Okay, recording friends. I love you. I will see you next week.